Welcome to Kilowatt, the show where we haven't made an episode in just about 9 months. A baby could have been born. Anyways, we're back just in time for the spooky season, and to celebrate this, we're watching a movie that has nothing to do with Halloween. That's right, today we're watching It, the 1990 miniseries.
Oh yes.
So, what is this film about? Well, it's about this little girl singing a creepy lullaby on her tricycle. And as we know, young children on tricycles are always a sign of safety and comfort. Usually, they even make new friends, and in this case, it's with a smiling clown. Ooh, he's angry now. Scary. We meet Mike the librarian, and he suspects something is really wrong with the town of Derry.
There's something terribly wrong here in Derry.
He finds a picture of a young child and brings it home with him, which sounds a bit odd now that I say it out loud. But the point is, Mike knows something about the darkness surrounding Derry, and in order to put a stop to this, he calls his old buddies from when he was a kid. Starting with Stuttering Bill, basically playing Stephen King, except without the cocaine.
Yeah.
Now I don't want to be mean, but the ponytail? What's up with that? So Bill receives what can only be described as a rather troubling phone call.
It's me. Just want to know if you're wearing panties.
George.
But he also gets a call from Mike, of course.
It's back.
And this triggers one of many flashbacks in this movie. And in this one, Bill's little brother Georgie plays with a paper boat and talks to a clown in the sewers. I mean, there's nothing out of the ordinary so far.
And balloons too. All colors.
Do they float?
Oh yes.
What kind of question is that? It's a balloon. The only thing it can do is literally just float.
Do they float?
In any case, Georgie's about to float to heaven. Scary. So Kid Bill spends some time grieving the death of his little brother, and strange things happen. Georgie winks at the ladies, the book gets its period, and well, that's just enough for Bill to awkwardly touch his face and come back to reality. Whoop, there goes gravity. Alright, now that that's taken care of, it's time to introduce Ben, who's drunk as fuck and pretty good at playing limbo. But of course he gets another dreadful phone call.
I'm pregnant.
Yeah, bad news. But there's also the whole it's back thingy.
It's come back.
Are you okay?
I don't think I am, sweetheart.
Are you gonna kill yourself?
That's your follow-up question? Not what's wrong or how can I help you? No. Are you gonna kill yourself? This of course triggers another flashback. This time it's Ben as a kid getting bullied and making friends with good old Stuttering Bill and the asthmatic Eddie. They throw rocks and stuff. Ben also gets scared by Pennywise the clown and then a little Halloween store skeleton. It's fun. Moving on to our third member of the group, Beverly.
Hello?
Yep, it's back and it's almost as scary as domestic abuse. Once more, the phone call triggers a flashback where Kid Beverly gets slapped in the face by her abusive father. She gets spooked by Pennywise, and then she befriends the other kids.
Hi.
Including two new characters, Stan the Jew and Richie the comedic relief.
It's what makes you so chuckalicious. Richie Toge is my name.
Now, we need to show that they have a bond of some sort. You know, they've become really good friends. And how could we possibly do that?
It's alright, it's alright, have a good time, 'cause it's alright, whoa, it's alright.
Wait! Yeah! Yes! Yeah! Yeah!
Moving on to Eddie's adult life, living with his oppressive mom.
Where are you going?
I gotta go back to Derry.
Derry.
Boy oh boy, you'll never believe it. We get another flashback showing the kids awkwardly bonding again.
I love you too.
What the hell? And then the clown shows up to spook him. Well, that's over, and now it's time for Richie's segment, who grew up to become a comedian, whose comedic talent did not grow a whole lot. Yikes. So Richie kisses the toilet, yuck, and as expected this triggers another flashback, and this one's pretty cool. Richie's afraid of the werewolf from that movie I Was a Teenage Werewolf, therefore Pennywise turns into that creature to scare him, and it looks pretty damn good for a TV movie. It definitely beats the horrible CGI from the recent remake. Mike's flashback shows him finally joining the group of kids an hour into the film, and the team, now all assembled, fight back the mean bullies of the film by throwing rocks and stuff. Yeah, it feels really awkward. So once more, Pennywise shows up to scare the kids.
Kill you all!
And this is followed by what may very well be the funniest scene of the film.
No!
Yes!
No!
Stand!
Yes!
No!
Yes!
Yes!
No!
Yes!
Yes! Yes!
Yes! Yes!
Yes.
This is now the 7th and last phone call / flashback scene, and this time it's with Stan.
Nearest resident Stan speaking. This better be good.
Put that cookie down! Now!
Who did you say?
This one's pretty interesting though, because it brings us to the finale of the kids part of the film. They go in the sewer to kill the clown, but they're followed by the mean bullies, one of which meets Pennywise and also meets his demise. It's thrilling. So the other bullies got Stan, and I guess they're about to cold-bloodedly murder him. What the fuck was that noise? But then one of the bullies flies and gets folded in half. So that just happened. And believe it or not, things get even fucking weirder. The bright light comes back for the final bully, but instead of killing him, it just turns his hair gray. And I'm pretty sure he shits himself. Phew, at least Stan is safe. Nope, just kidding, Pennywise grabs him. But Eddie, with the power of imagination, I think, pretends that his asthma pump is battery acid. And it works. But it makes me wonder, if they can just imagine anything and it becomes real, why not just say something like, "This is a grenade launcher"? In any case, I guess defeating the clown is the easiest thing on earth. Just shoot a little silver rock and he's done. But before she can finish him off for good, he jumps up to escape and, oh my god, he became John Carpenter. So it's the end. Oh wait, the movie's 3 hours long.
Time does go by.
So Stan's flashback ends, and so does his life. Yeah, he offed himself, because he was too scared to face the clown again, I think. It's actually surprisingly pretty dark. So we move on to the second part of the film, focusing solely on the adults. You know, the most boring characters that have no chemistry. Yeah, these ones. And just like before, we go through each character getting scared by the clown one by one. It starts with Bill, who visits his little brother's grave. And yeah, Pennywise shows up, and he's great as usual.
Take your pick. Billy boy.
Pretty awesome. But I don't mean to be immature or anything, but Bill is crying, and doesn't it look a little like a whitish thick substance? You know, that don't look like tears. Anyways, he's also rocking that stupid ponytail. Who thought this was a good idea? I do not know. Anyways, he meets Mike for the first time in 30 years, so you know what that means, motherfuckers. Embarrassing montage. Do you guys remember that there's an evil clown trying to murder you? I guess not. Time for Richie to get spooked by the clown in what might be my favorite scene of the movie.
Don't you want a balloon?
I love it. Just forget that you can clearly see the ball cap line. As for Ben, he sees the clown on the side of the road. Eddie gets grabbed by a boomer. Very scary. And Bev enjoys a little cup of tea with a nice old lady. What a lovely woman. Ooh, ma'am, you put ketchup in my tea. Oh my lord! The old lady turned into Roger Deakins. Okay, that's enough spooks for now. The group finally reunites, except for Stan, because he's dead. It looks really fun and all. Hey, whoops! So this doesn't just happen to me.
Oh.
Did she just kiss him on the mouth? Wait, what the fuck? Did you forget you're married? Alright, moving on to the next scene. Can you guess what happens? You're right.
It's alright. It's alright. Say it's alright. It's alright. It's alright. Have a good time. 'Cause it's alright. Whoa, it's alright.
This dance session is interrupted by some spooky fortune cookies. So Mike's about to grab some beer in the fridge, but instead finds one of Patrick Bateman's victims.
Sorbet?
No, it's actually Stan's head taunting the group.
Billy boy.
And then he takes a shit, I think. And speaking of taking a shit, do you guys remember Henry Bowers? Yeah, he's now in a mental institution, but Pennywise helps him escape by turning his head into a dog. Henry's out for blood. He's gonna get revenge on these guys. And he's dead. Okay, that's over. And Bev is kissing Ben now. Okay, we're almost done. We just need to squeeze in one more unnecessary subplot. So Bill's wife decided to go to Derry and she got caught by the clown. And Bill is very sad about it. He cares a lot about his wife. Oh, that's right. We'll come back to her, it's pretty funny. But for now, the group is ready for their final fight against Pennywise. Oh, shit's about to go down, but Eddie's got a little something to say before.
I have to tell you guys something before we go in there.
Eddie?
I mean, I've never even been with any.
Eddie, what are you saying? You're a virgin?
Yeah. I could never sleep with somebody that I didn't love. And I've never really loved anyone. Except you guys.
So you want to have a kid orgy like in the book? Is that where this is going? No? Oh, we're just never going to address this ever again? Okay. Now, it's time for the big reveal. Pennywise's true form. The evil monster responsible for the death of so many. And it's... a terrible stop-motion puppet. Wow. Once more, Bev shoots silver rocks at it to defeat it, but oh no, it doesn't work. How come? Well, it seems Bev has never played a video game in her life. You need to wait for the boss to show his weak spot, Bev. Eddie dies in the process because he got hugged too hard or something. And at last, they rip Pennywise's heart out. In the epilogue, we see that Richie's now an actor, Ben is dating Bev, and Bill now lives with his zombie wife. Yeah, that's right, she's still brain dead because Pennywise showed her a light. But get this, Bill tries to save her by pedaling very fast on his old bike with her. It's hilarious. Okay, the end. So how good were these kills? Well, not very good, unfortunately, but it does feel a bit unfair to judge the kills of a TV movie, because they clearly had a lot of restrictions regarding the violence. They can't show the clown eating a kid's face, unfortunately. So, of course, we're left with awkward POV shots or Tim Curry slowly getting closer to the camera. And it sucks. The guy getting folded in half was pretty funny though. I kinda wish there were more strange creative kills like this one. You're not really sure what the fuck happened, but at least it's something. The only true effective scare in this whole film for me is Stan's suicide. In fact, it's the only one with a little bit of blood, but more than that, it's also extremely dark. Bonus points for the dog head, I guess. Meh, I'm gonna give the kills 5 kilowatts out of 20.
Kiss me, fat boy.
Tim Curry makes this movie. I don't think anybody's gonna argue with that. His performance as Pennywise the Clown is now part of pop culture. He's up there with all the famous horror villains, and with good reason. The thing I like most about him is his ability to shift from hilarious to horrifying. Similar to Freddy Krueger, Pennywise can make jokes and act silly, and this makes for a very charismatic villain. Now as for the design, it's pretty great. I mean, he just looks like a typical clown, which is already scary enough. It's playful and colorful, which is a nice contrast with his creepy-ass demon face. Originally, the director Tommy Lee Wallace wanted to use prosthetics and more complex makeup effects for the clown, but Curry didn't want to go through the hours and hours of prosthetics like he did in Ridley Scott's Legend, the movie in which he plays a thick-ass demon. So he suggested a simpler design, which honestly works very well. That being said, I guess we also have to count the spider in this section, right? And it's terrible. They clearly did not have the budget nor the technology to pull this off very well. It's pretty bad, but Tim Curry's so damn great that I'm gonna mostly try to forget about this spider and give the killer 17 kilowatts out of 20. The It miniseries had the extremely difficult task of adapting a 1,000 plus pages book into a low-budget 2-part film. There are so many goddamn things happening in that book that it must have been a fucking nightmare to structure this without going all over the place. And for the most part, I think Lawrence D. Cohen and Tommy Lee Wallace did an okay job overall at keeping the soul of the novel, the main themes and plot points to move the story along, but still one of the main things that kept coming back in my notes is how boring this film is. Whenever Pennywise is not on screen, despite the huge amount of character development and story arcs, I found myself not caring about anyone.
Why is it so mean?
I do think the kids have more chemistry than the adults, but not nearly as well as the ones from the 2017 movie. The casting also seems to be an issue here, especially for the adults. Harry Anderson as Richie just isn't funny.
It's great to be back in Derry, breathing in that old Derry air.
Richard Thomas as Bill looks like a dork, but you know, not the good kind, more so the yucky kind. Annette O'Toole as Bev is not very good.
Why is it so mean?
Why?
In my opinion, she just acts dull. And the few times where she does have emotions, she overacts, and it's even worse.
You're not real! You're not real!
Overall, an interesting story with a so-so execution and some repetitive scenes here and there. This definitely works better as a novel, and I'll give the story 11 kilowatts out of 20. I'm not entirely sure about the budget, but I think this was a $12 million film, and for a 3-hour epic horror movie filled with special effects and audacious sets, this isn't very big. The limitations here are pretty obvious. Some of the sets look extremely cheap, as well as some of the effects. This is just Tim Curry superimposed on a picture of a moon. I can do that. And the overall feel of it is that of a TV movie, with these cheap fades every 2 seconds. I don't like those. In fact, the editing overall simply feels awkward.
What is going on?
But credit where credit's due, there are some neat sets and locations here and there, and some pretty beautiful creature designs. In fact, I appreciate the somewhat smaller scale and simpler effects. When you have the budget to do whatever the fuck you want, sometimes it just goes overboard and it becomes mind-numbing. I much prefer little things like Pennywise digging a grave for each member of the group, with one already taken because Stan killed himself. This works very well, it's kinda creepy. The last act where they fight Pennywise the spider looks incredibly cheap, it's horrible, but besides that I still do want to praise the creativity that went into this. I'm gonna give the aesthetic 13 kilowatts out of 20. So finally, how fun is this film? I had decent fun with it, especially because I enjoy the novel and just the overall concept. A creepy clown from outer space living in the sewers and murdering children is a pretty cool idea. I wish I was the clown. But then you also have characters with flaws to overcome, and themes of childhood fears and the shittiness of growing up. Again, the film nearly got it right, but I just couldn't be 100% engaged with the story. This doesn't mean that there aren't any qualities to it though. After all, the It miniseries was directed by Tommy Lee Wallace, who was the production designer and editor on Halloween and The Fog. But what really gets my willy hard is that he directed Halloween 3 Season of the Witch, aka the greatest movie ever made. Thanks to Mr. Wallace, Tom Atkins' ass is now immortalized in a motion picture. Anyways, Wallace is great at making strange over-the-top movies, and It was definitely one of them. I'm not in a hurry to watch it again anytime soon, but it does make for a fun movie night with popcorn and eyeball cookies. I'm gonna give the entertainment 14 kilowatts out of 20. As for the final result of this video, it racked up a somewhat disappointing 60 kilowatts out of 100. You know, I don't mind this movie, but also it's not great. Anyways, I'm gonna go back to my cold, empty crypt for a while, and until next time, keep watching horror movies. It's good for your health. Bye bye.
I persuade you to subscribe